Alright guys, Fuller coming to you with another video. I hope all of y'all are doing well. Hope all of y'all are wiggling through this damn maze that we find ourselves in. And now I'm thinking, I'm not even a conspiracy theorist, but I'm really thinking now that, at least on the California side of things, they are really altering this weather. You know what I mean? I really think so, because it's just the the level of heat and how the humidity of the heat and the moisture of the heat and how it's changing is it's ridiculous at this point. It really is. And so I'm under the impression that, man, these dudes are like doing something with it. But anyhow, I wanted to talk to y'all, because if you've been on my page, you know that I do like hip hop reviews on, different artists, and I've been lacking that in the last couple of videos. But I think I'm gonna do a new thing called Hip Hop Homage, where I pay homage to like a MC that has been around for a long time, and I'll just go into the spiel of how they inspired me and things like that, and how their music and their body of work played into the life I live. And the one MC I want to start off with, because his album, he's celebrating 16 years of his sophomore album that just came to be recently, goes by the name of Jamal Shyne Barrow. Now, this may come as a shock to people that I said Jamal Shyne Barrow, because he has some select words. He's had some select words to say about certain artists I like. He's had certain words to say about Kendrick Lamar's body of work. I think he said something about Rick Ross. He took a jab at him too. But I can't deny the his body of work shines, because honestly, when he came out with his albums, when I first heard them, I was like, yo, this dude is ahead of his time, bro. I said, this dude is a beast. I looked at his style and I said, yo, he's street, but he's well-read street. And I'm like, yo, this dude right here, man, is crazy. I honestly put him in my top, I can put him in my top 10 as greatest MCs, because I really look at him and I think like, yo, this dude right here. And the sad thing about him, about Jamal Shyne Barrow, is as an artist, he never reached his full potential. And there's many parallels that we kind of share. I guess that's the reason why I like him so much. For number one, he was an immigrant, you know what I mean? Number two, he was put, I'm gonna just be real with you. If you're an immigrant, especially if you're a black immigrant, usually when you come to the United States of America, or even come to a Western part of Europe, you're usually gonna end up in a disenfranchised area. That's just like a rule of thumb. That's just basically how it works, and it happened with me, of course, and it happened with him, but his was a little bit more crucial, like, than mine. And the thing is about him is he literally wore his heart on his sleeves, because you have to understand something. In his songs, he called it Brooklyn, Vietnam. You know what I mean? He didn't just call it regular Brooklyn, New York. This dude referred to it as Brooklyn, Vietnam. Okay? So if you're referring it to as Brooklyn, Vietnam, shit went down. And the thing is about him, is when he got involved at an early age. Like, I mean, that's just how it works. Like, all he had to do was go outside, because you have to understand something about Jamal Shyne Barrow. He was a product of a prime minister. His dad's name was Dean Barrow. And he was a product of his mother, who was on the lower fringes of the society. You know, I think she was a housekeeper or something like that. And so his dad didn't even regard him. You know, his dad just said, you know, man, that ain't my kid. Like, I don't even recognize him as my kid. So what is the mom left to do? I mean, seeing that the condition that Belize was in, it really didn't provide the options needed for him to really be successful and be in a position where he can thrive. So she took it and moved to Brooklyn. But the problem is she did move to Brooklyn, Vietnam. You know, and she was working so much that, you know, and I always say this to people, you know, when they say, how do youths get involved in shit? I say, all you have to do is go outside, bro. And that's what happened with Shyne. So Shyne, you know, he went outside and he got involved in the streets. And one thing that happened when he got involved in the streets, and that's what kind of unfortunately led up to his career being deterred, is the fact that he got shot in the shoulder. And the thing is, he got shot very young. He got shot at 15 years old with a tech. And so, you know, all that he raps about, you know, that just comes from experiences, you know what I mean? And that's what I like about him. That's what I like about artists. When artists rap about things, you can usually tell if that artist is coming from a real place or not. And with him, it came from a real place. But this is one thing I want to say about him, is that even from his first album, he had the street bravado, don't get it twisted. But there was just the way he put the words together is just like, it was different, you know what I mean? And that's why I was like, yo, this guy right here, bro, I like this nigga. Now, another thing about him too is that on his sophomore album, he started talking about like real shit. Like, he honestly, what he talked about kind of sparked my mind to research about things, you know what I mean? Because he was talking about, and even in interviews he talked about this. He talked about, you know, that how niggas don't even got like boats, and niggas don't even got like army guns and shit like that. And I'm like, yeah, man, you spot on with this crap, man. And so it made you research about, okay, well, how does shit get over here? How do we get our like little things, man? And you know, when you research it and find out that the rabbit hole gets just deep as hell, you're like, damn, man, this is heavy shit, man. And so with that being said, I was like, yo, man, this guy right here, man, this dude is very, very much a real one. The only downside about him, there's two downsides about Shyne Barrow that I say, well, you know, there was a different way of going about that. Number one, his criticisms of Kendrick Lamar, you know, that was not needed. He didn't need to do that, you know. And also, this is the sad thing about him, you know, and I found this really sad because he even said so. Because I'm of the opinion that if it wasn't for Shyne, there wouldn't be a J-Lo and there wouldn't be a Diddy. For the simple fact that this dude was not on no rah-rah shit. He was on some protective shit. And so that's why he was like, and you have to count, he's been shot before. So, of course he's going to pull out his burner. You know what I mean? To protect himself. And what if he didn't pull out his burner? You know, would we still have a J-Lo? Would we still have a Diddy? But the messed up thing about it is how Diddy did him. And that's why I really don't like P. Diddy, man. That's why he's washed up all his artists. I mean, when you really think about it, none of Diddy's artists have really fared out well. Like when you really get to the gist of it, none have really like came out on the other side of the fence and been good. There's always been something that's happened to them. When it comes to G-Dep, when it comes to Loon, when it comes to any one of those artists, okay? There's always something that seems like, damn, him too? Whether they do a bid, whether they just get turned the hell out, whether they, you know, become pastors of the church, you know what I mean? Like just crazy shit, right? And so, with that being said, right? The problem with Shyne is that, and this is the messed up thing what Diddy did. This is the messed up thing that I don't like. Diddy, he called a woman to testify against Shyne, knowing damn well that woman is going to be lying. Okay? That's what Diddy did. And I'm like, man, you are very faulty, bro, for that shit. You are very, very faulty for doing some stuff like that. You call someone who you know is not going to be keeping it 100, and you get her to testify not for him but against him. Like, come on, bro. And so this is why I don't really respect Diddy. I don't like Diddy, and it's just, it is what it is. I'm like not feeling Diddy at all. You know, he's a snake. At the end of the day, he's a rat. You know, Diddy is a rat, and so that's why I was like, yo, I don't even like this clown, man. This dude is a rat. You know, you set the nigga up, and like you knew, like that's the problem about the whole situation. You already knew on top of him that niggas were already, or the court was already saying that this nigga is a wild nigga and belligerent and things like that. You already knew that. So the fact that you already knew that they were going to do that to him anyway, and you set him up even more? Come on now, man. Like that's all bad. And so this is why I was like, bro, like I'm cool on Diddy. He does, and this is the sad thing. That's the thing I didn't like about it. You already knew they were going to be on his head already. So what did you do? You furthermore gave them fuel to the fire by calling a witness that's going to be already lying on him anyway. So this is why I was like, bruh, like what the hell? And so the messed up thing about this situation is that they lied on him. And so it was a wrap. You know, he had to do 10 years. And that 10 years, unfortunately, changed his whole trajectory of his career. Because when he came back out, I'm sorry to say it, but the music didn't sound the same. He did have, I will say there was one track that hit a nerve because it reminded me of a lot of these people on and off these YouTube streets. He said, it was another 50 Cent diss, and I can't there's certain things on that disc that kind of I can't really quote verbatim, but I can remember some lines that stuck out. Like he says, so thugs, just for show thugs. Did a couple of months on the island, niggas, so what? He said, he also said, there's rules to this shit, morals and ethics. Y'all niggas running around all lawless and reckless. Drink some thug juice and some what punch. But you guys are really effing chickmucks. He's like, really tough Tonys when you spit them raps, but when I see y'all in person, I don't see none of that. And he was referring to 50 Cent, man. And that, but the problem with it is the fact that his voice box was just gone, man. Because he wasn't rapping. You gotta understand something. He wasn't rapping when he was in jail, you know? He released that album in jail, don't get it twisted. He released that. But he wasn't spitting, you know? So, you know, with Jamal Shyne Barrow, man, that dude like sparked me in more ways than one. Another thing about him, I think he was one of the first rappers to actually shout out and be like in memory of Ahmadou Diallo. I think he was one of the first ones to talk about him. And, you know, with that being said, it's like, wow, this nigga like actually mentioned Ahmadou Diallo, you know. That's how you pronounce it. It's Jallo, you know. He actually mentioned Jallo. And the thing is about that situation is it's crazy how that happened. It was during the same time. All of this that transpired with Shyne, it transpired at the same time with the officers who shot Ahmadou Diallo. You know, they got off the same time that Shyne got sent up to the island, you know. And so I just had to pay hip hop homage to this guy because I've always respected his body of work, and I still listen to his 2 albums to this day, you know. And another thing about him that I really like is, you know, a lot of people think he was trying to sound like Big, but that's not the case at all. He just had a baritone. And that's what I like about him too, man. Like, because, you know, I got a baritone. And, you know, people always used to, I'm sorry to say, niggas used to tease me on that shit, you know, having a baritone. But, you know, when he brought that shit out, I was very happy, you know, because here you have this, you know, nigga from the Caribbean talking that shit, and he talking that shit with the baritone. So, you know, that's what I like. Well, anyhow, man, let me know if you like this hip hop homage thing that I'm doing, and let me know if you would like my thoughts on another artist, you know, that has like impacted me in more ways than one. But anyhow, man, Fula signing out.
I also want to add that Jamal Shyne Barrow, he's actually running for a seat in the House of Representatives in his native country of Belize. Now, I don't know how that's going to go because of the simple fact of his dealings here. And, you know, that kind of will put a tamper on him. But seeing the work he's done so far, I think he may have a shot, you know. And I think there is a sincerity in him that may be able to, you know, contribute to bettering the quality of lives of local Belizeans, you know. We just gotta wait and see what happens, you know. But yeah, just wanted to add that too.